Hello, welcome back to Lace with Literature.
Your new favorite bookish podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Lexi.
And today we are getting into where our lore started.
I am so excited for this. I feel like where your lore started is becoming a trend. And everyone's like posting about it on Bookstagram and Book Talk, and I love it. Lore is my favorite word right now. I'm obsessed with it. I catch myself saying lore like so many times a day.
It's making me feel nostalgic, like thinking about all these books and stuff, which, I mean, duh, but like...
Yeah, whenever I was planning out this episode, I had like several books and series in mind that I remember reading in middle school, but then I also had to get on ChatGPT, and I was like, hello, I am 22 years old. What books would I have possibly been interested in reading in middle school? And it gave me like a big old list, and there was like books on there. I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot about reading those. So now I'm really excited to talk about them.
Yay. Yeah, we're going to start with a little bit of a life update from me, I guess.
Emma's really the only one that ever has a life update. So
I don't know. This week has been such a whirlwind. I'm just trying to get my life together, which I said last week, but it's still like in the works, I think.
Actually, behind the phone, Emma now has like she's getting her life together on this whiteboard.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a to-do list, a schedule
I
board.
had to make a to-do list because it's not even just me. Like, I mentally can't, like, just do everything by myself, but it's also, like, I need Xander to make sure he's doing these things, too. Like, if I can't do them, I'm like, you need to know exactly what I want done every single night. We do nightly resets. Then I do, like, my Sunday resets, which never work out. Like, I'm definitely not going to have one today, and because
I feel like Sundays are always your busiest day.
That's crazy because, like, they're the only days that I know I'm not going to fly. Like, I shouldn't have anything going on. But yeah, they get busy. I think maybe I'm going to do, like, Monday resets from now on because Mondays are usually, like, slower for me. So, knock on wood.
Slay, I love that.
But yeah, I mean, literally yesterday I had to go to Columbus for some wedding dress stuff and got home super late. I had my nieces stay over and brought them to church this morning, and it was pouring rain today, guys. We're getting the back end of that, like, tornado coming through, like, Atlanta and stuff like that. So there was hail this morning. It was dumping rain. I had just gotten ready for church, got the girls ready. All of us were soaking wet. So that was super fun. But
yeah, that was pretty nasty. And then, like, immediately after, the sun is out and it's like the most beautiful day. But
I
we're
know.
still under a tornado
There's
watch.
a tornado watch today. So
I was like, Emma, what if we're filming and a tornado hits? That would be really
we get to
interesting.
shelter together. It's so fun. But yeah, I just feel like it's been busy and it just busy.
Oh my gosh, you'll be so proud of me. I actually, like, got out of the house yesterday.
Oh, where you go?
I went out with Courtney. It was like her first
Oh, yeah.
girls' day
Okay.
that she's had out since having the baby.
Yeah, that
We
was
had so
so
much
fun.
fun.
I didn't get to watch your, like, video because I was at Easton, but I tried to watch a little bit of it. And
Dude, it was so funny.
you guys did, like, a mystery box thing?
Yeah, so Courtney, who's in our book club, we went to the mall. She just, like, really wanted to go shopping and, like, have girls' day. And it was Shipwreck in the mall.
Yes, I love Shipwrecked.
I'd never been in there.
I love it. It's so, like, there's so many things.
So many things. Oh my gosh. And they had like
They
a
have
silly
different-
goose collection. They had like goose everything. It was so cute.
Shipwrecked is like this store in our mall that has a bunch of different, like, boutiques and stuff people can, like, sell there. So there's different, like, stations and everything, but it is...
They have a whole...
It's not a giant store, and it is eclectic in there. Like, it is, like, the more you look, the more you'll find in there. It is stuffed.
Yeah, right when you first walk in, they had a whole book display. They had
Aw.
ACOTAR and Fourth Wing shirts,
That's awesome.
sweatshirts, stickers, pins. They had like...
I need to go. I haven't been
They
to the
had
mall in
book
so
bouquets. So they had like... Literally, the setup for the bookish stuff was incredible. Like,
tier.
probably the best selection I've ever seen. But then, like, on this huge wall that was just, like, empty, they had gotten, like, I don't know if it was, like, liquidation stuff, like, stores like Target and Amazon that were just, like, getting rid of product.
Like, I've seen those are, like, returned packages that just end up in the abyss, or, like, they just, like, shove a bunch of things in there, like, overstock things. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just returned. Like, I don't know where these things come from. But
I have no idea either, but they had a humongous wall of just mystery boxes. Like, you get a mini, small, medium, large, whatever. But Courtney bought a small box. It was like $20, and it had the most random junk in it, and that's what I had sent in the group chat.
Yeah.
It was us unboxing it. We were dying laughing.
I saw a little bit of it, but I couldn't, like, hear you, and I was like, I wish I could watch this.
It was absolutely ridiculous items. Like, and the lady at checkout was hyping it up so much. She was like, oh my gosh, like, people have gotten Switches or AirPods or just like she said that she's seen some
she
really
got
cool
like
things.
weird party supplies and
Literally, it was a random assortment of things, like a plastic $1 sandcastle.
Yeah,
bucket.
I saw that, and I saw the little banner thing, like
the
little birthday banner thing.
a birthday banner. She got a size small like dress from Amazon. It was really not a cute dress either.
Oh my gosh.
What else was in there? There was like a Halloween bottle brush tree, like for decor, and the Joy to the World sign. It was just so weird.
Just like junk.
Oh, and like a Minnie Mouse water toy.
I bet the person who owns those, like that booth area, is just cleaning out her house and putting all her junk in those boxes and then selling them.
That wouldn't even surprise me because 2 of the items in her box
that.
was stuff from Dollar General.
Oh my
Dollar
gosh.
General, Emma.
Yeah. I should do that. We can make some money. Do you guys want to buy our mystery boxes? I'm just going to do a little house clean out, make some money.
I actually love that. Get rid of all my stuff. Love. Oh, okay. So now that you have your little beverage, should we do a daub of the day? A daub of the episode?
Daub of the episode.
Daub of the episode. I'm used to saying daub of the day on TikTok.
Well, I guess it is of the day as well.
But it's of the episode. Of the day of the episode.
So we're going to do our drink, outfit, and book that we're currently reading.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to go first?
Sure. My drink, same as always, guys. I get really fixated on things. It's just Crystal Light, fruit punch packet, and water in my wallet.
Good.
That I just drink that every single day. I'm literally obsessed with it.
I've been drinking, it's literally Kroger brand. It's like this white peach like Mio thing, and I don't normally like the Mios. I like the powders.
I love Mio. That's what I have every morning
Mio,
for my
though.
caffeine.
It's because you have the energy ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've never tried those.
The acai berry is my favorite. That's what I
need
have
to
every
try.
single morning in my smaller Awala.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like coffee, so that's like my caffeine.
Lexi
in the
has her
morning.
drink routine of every single day.
It's the same every day. I never switch it up until I'm literally sick of it, and then like I'll probably drink this for like at least 6 months, and then I'll never want it again.
But yeah, just that like Kroger brand one is what I've been taking in my purse with me because it's like easier than the powders. I've had the powders like exploded in my purses before, so.
Oh, I would cry.
Yep.
I would cry. Mm-hmm.
My drink, I've been so busy lately. I am actually trying to cut out caffeine right now, but my mother gave me
My mother.
she gave me her Nespresso machine. I have to say that right. Like I feel like I have to really enunciate the no because people get mad if you say like espresso machine. I don't know, whatever. Apparently it's a whole world and I'm just learning about it.
Okay.
So I went to
This is the Nespresso lore.
Nespresso lore. Yeah, I went to Columbus yesterday and like was getting like pods for it. And because my mom just gave me the machine because my dad got obsessed with espresso and he bought like a nice espresso machine, and so they didn't need that anymore, so they gave me their machine, which I don't really drink that much coffee anymore, but when I do need caffeine, I'm trying to do like natural caffeine, which I mean I guess is anyway. Coffee is natural. So I feel like it's better than an energy drink. I'm just all over the place.
I would agree. Unless you just like load it down with like a bunch of sugar and stuff, which is what I would do. If I liked coffee, it would just be milk.
This is really just almond milk and then a double shot of espresso, and then I have some vanilla like flavor in it, and it is iced, so I have a straw. But guys, I know it's in a mug, but have you guys seen that TikTok of that girl with her Anthropology cup that she put like the hot drink in it? Like I think she poured her hot espresso over the ice or something like that, and the bottom just shatters and broke out. So now I'm like traumatized.
Yeah, and she was taking a video of it, like an aesthetic little
on
video
her white bed.
couch. Or bed.
That was her bed. Yes, I would die if that was all over my bed. Like, having to clean that would just be so depressing.
That video made me cry. At least she went viral and probably got some money out of it. Like,
hopefully,
good for her.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's in a mug today, but it was a cute little mug from Target, and it says slow down on it, which I need to do. Don't know if you read the handle.
I didn't. This is very fitting for
I really
you.
need that.
I love that.
So, I got my little coffee today. Yeah, that's my drink. And then, do you want to do your outfit?
Guys, my outfits are never anything special for the pod. I just have some cream colored sweatpants from Hollister and this is not a matching set, even though it kind of looks like it is. I got a cream color
It does
shirt.
look like it matches.
Yeah, and they actually are not. I just kind of made it a matching set.
Okay,
But this little tee is just from TJ Maxx. I don't even dance, but it's like a...
It's so cute.
I don't know. I just thought it was cute.
You have to describe it because not everyone's watching.
Oh, okay. So it's a cream tee with like a pink bow.
Little ballerina slippers.
With ballerina slippers. Yeah, like the laces of the
So
slippers
cute.
are in the bow.
Love it. And then she has your clip.
Yeah.
Her little book stack clip.
Emma's just doing my OOTD.
Yeah. I'm going to help you out. I just came from church, guys. So I'm still like in my jeans. I have my Abercrombie jeans. This shirt, I have it's like AC. Is this AC/DC? Is that
I think so, yeah.
So it's like an AC/DC, but it's WWJD. So it's What Would Jesus Do? And then below it says He Would Love First. Then I have this like lace long sleeve turtleneck.
I love those shirts. I have one. I don't wear it as much as I'd like to, but I think they're so cute. They just like spice up any like plain outfit.
I don't even know like where this shirt is from. I think it's Elevated Faith. And then I know we're not getting into all of our jewelry, but I want to talk about my new bracelet because Altered State has these like knockoff Hermes. I think you say that like this, so don't yell at me if not. But the Hermes bracelets or Hermes or something.
Hermes, I think. I don't know. Aren't those like really expensive?
Really expensive. They're like I don't know. I think they're like $800 bracelets or something.
Holy cow.
These look so similar. I've actually had so many people think that they were real. So I had a white one and I just got the black one when I went. And actually they were $32, but I got it for free because like my birthday thing or something like that. Like I ended up being free because
cute.
I also bought like an $80 dress and I paid like $78 for all of it because I had like my birthday thing, my military discount. So I was really saving some money, which was fun.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my outfit.
Love. And what's next? Books?
Books.
What
book
are we
you
reading? Okay, so I actually am kind of reading 2 books, but I'm not really reading. I don't know if I'm in a reading slump. I can't tell. I just haven't read in a few days.
Jinxed ourselves, I think, last episode.
I really think we did. So right now I am reading on my Kindle The Arc of the Rivaled Crown. I'm really not even that far in because, like I said,
hopefully I get the book before you finish so that I actually get to read it with you.
That would be nice. Maybe I'll just wait. I mean, I do think I'm going to read a little bit
I
tonight.
get it on Tuesday.
But then I'm also audiobooking Rebel Witch. I can't remember what the author's name is. It's like Kristen, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but it is the second book in the Crimson Moth duology. Because I really enjoyed the first one, so I've just been listening to that on my way to and from work.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a reading slump, guys. I need to actually explain what happened to me. So I finished what did I read last? Our book club book, First Time Caller. I finished First Time Caller, and then I had taken a break from the Shatter Me series, and then I also just don't want it to be over, the Shatter Me series, so I'm having a hard time reading it right now.
Yeah.
So then I was like, and it's not because it's not good, I just like literally don't want it to be over. So every time I read it, I'm like, I don't want to read this because like I can't fathom it being over right now.
That was what I was saying about Ignite Me, but I did end up finishing it, and I'm pretty sure I rated it 5 stars. I loved it.
It's so good.
It was really good.
So yeah, so then I posted on the story and I was like, pick my next book, everyone pick. And there was like 5 books on there, and then there was actually a bunch of other books that I have to choose from. There's so many, honestly. I there's no reason I should not be reading right now. But I started Phantasma, and I was like, what is going on? I just could not keep up. I was audiobooking it. I think I need to actually read it because I literally could not like put anything together.
Did you like DNF it?
No, I read like 10 minutes of it. I don't count that as DNF. I like literally just couldn't get into it yet.
Okay.
Then I tried to read City of Gods and Monsters, and I did not think it was going to be like that. I don't know. Have you looked into that book at all?
No.
It's talking about like werewolves and stuff. Like right at the beginning, it was very like Twilight. It's like for centuries, like werewolves.
That's reminding me of Bride by Allie Hazelwood. Remember when we couldn't get into that?
Yeah, it was just talking. I don't know. It was just very flippantly like juvenile talking about like the creatures and stuff, and I didn't like that it was like so normal in the book. I don't know, I feel like it was just like I was not the vibe for now. So then what did I try to read after that? I don't know. Oh, I started reading Imagine Me again, which is what I'm kind of reading right now, which is the novella in Shatter Me. So I'm reading Imagine Me, but I don't want to read it because I don't want it to be over. Guys, it's crazy. Then I just was so stressed out that I decided to read a self-help book.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
all across the board, I'm just a freaking mess in my head right now. So, I started reading a self-help book. And it's really good so far. And it's like a Christian-based self-help book. It's called Try Softer by Andy Colbert. Andy Colbert?
Dude, we are so bad at pronouncing author names.
I apologize. So, anyway, it's kind of like talking about not like white knuckling your way through life. Like, it's like try softer, so you don't have to try so hard to like please everyone. Like, it's kind of has a little bit of the let them theory in it. Like, just let people like feel their feelings.
Perfect for you.
Know, I do need it. But it starts at like you have to go through the beginning of it is like what got you to this. So it's talking about like childhood trauma and stuff, and it's just so funny because yeah. Well, anyway, I'm not even to like the main self-help part yet, but there's so many things that they've talked about in there that like have really like helped me and I've like really resonated with. So this is so funny. But the other day, when I started reading this, I decided it was such a pretty day, but I can't walk outside because I'm terrified of going outside by myself.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Same.
I decided to, I have a walking pad, which is like a little treadmill thing, like a tiny little thin one in my house. So I put it by my TV and I like had my headphones on and I started listening to it. And I was like, I'm going to go walk and like listen to this book. And then, which it's free on Audible, so that was nice too.
Oh, cool.
So then I went on YouTube, and I don't know if anyone's done this, so don't make fun of me, but I did a scenic walk through like Iceland.
Wow. Also, and right when you said that, I like got an eyelash in my eye.
Oh no.
R.I.P. Lexi.
So yeah.
Wait, that's so funny.
I was having a scenic walk through Iceland, listening to myself help.
Dude, now I want to get a walking pad just so I can do that.
I love it.
I would want to do like a scenic walk through the night court.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
They got that on YouTube.
They have a Hogwarts one I saw, but I didn't even think to look up like other
So
places.
this is actually very fitting since we're talking about where our lore started. I'll tell you where my lore did not start. Harry Potter. I was not ever a Harry Potter girly.
I love Harry Potter.
I remember watching the movies, but I never read the Harry Potter books. They always were just too daunting to me. They're enormous.
I loved them. I just remembered of a book that I used to read. I'm going to write this one down. We're going to discuss it. Oh.
Emma just like puts stuff in her brain and doesn't actually like add the stuff she wants to talk about onto our like planning note that we have.
Yeah, I like to be chaotic.
All of mine are on there. So I'm ready to go.
I need to look this book up. I'm going to cry. It was so good.
You know, actually, while I was thinking about this episode, this is just bothering me because there is a book that I vividly remember the cover of, and I remember being obsessed with it in middle school, and I cannot for the love of me remember what the book was even about or what it was called or who the author was. But I remember that I kind of got into like my era of like haunted thriller books in middle school, and I remember the cover of this book was like a ginormous like mansion staircase that just looked creepy and eerie, and there was like a shadow of like a lady ghost at the top. That was the cover of the book, but I have no idea what it was called, and I really don't even remember what it was about. Obviously it was some house that was haunted by a lady. That's all I know.
I read, and I saw you put it on there, but I didn't know if it was for you or me, the Asylum series.
I read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember really loving those, but I don't remember a thing about them.
Oh, I remember, like...
Is this the one where the group of friends are, like,
they're
going to the asylum just to, like, lurk?
Yeah, they were, like, breaking into it, I think. And
yeah,
like,
okay, I remember
They
that.
were, like, learning about the past of stuff, but I loved that series.
Yeah, it's actually right beside
I brought
my
it
chair.
from my mom's house because I wanted it here.
Well, that's, like, perfect, because now we're talking about it. So the first book is Asylum, the second one is Sanctum, and the third one is Catacomb.
Yeah, I loved that series when I was younger.
See, I actually don't remember if I read the second and third book, because I don't know what they're about. I do remember being really into... I've always just liked books, movies, and shows about friend groups that go exploring.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I love Outer Banks so much. It just, I don't know, that's just like my jam. And so I was like, they're exploring a haunted asylum?
I will
so
really
cool.
get into some creepy books that I used to read. A little bit. I did read a lot of creepy stuff.
I loved creepy stuff.
Yes.
But now that I'm older, like, actually, for years, I was just, like, so into true crime. Mm-hmm. I watched, like, Bailey Sarian, like, all the
Bailey Sarian.
I love her.
If you guys haven't watched her, I would say that's the only, like, I mean, she's not like a podcast. She's a YouTube, but she, like, does her makeup while she talks about things, and I just listen to it as a podcast. But, like, she does her makeup at the same time. At the same time, she says that. So I love her. But when me and Xander were like long distance and he lived in Morgantown, I had to drive up to Morgantown like every other weekend, and I would just listen to those podcasts or her episodes like every single time I would drive up and back, and I would measure the distance. I'd be like, oh, I'm like just 2 Bailey Sarian episodes away. And then like I would just watch them.
I was really
obsessed then,
like creepy true crime haunted stuff. But now, like, once I got older and was living on my own, like in college, I had to stop. I had to stop listening to true crime because I got to a point where, like, I literally could not sleep. I could not be at my apartment by myself. Like, I just got so freaked out.
I think I am a little overly paranoid because of it, but I still love it. So
I mean, I guess it's good to be overly paranoid though, because at least I'm aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
Like,
I do have a friend that worries the crap out of me. That I'm like, how are you not worried about this? And she's just like, well, if I don't think about it, it's not gonna happen. I'm like, that's not how that works.
No, she'd make a good target.
She scares me.
Oh, man, that's
I worry about her. So. Yeah, she knows this. I'm not talking bad about her. I've said this to her face. So, yeah, we need to all be at least a little bit aware. Which, this is a little off topic. We'll get back in. But me and Xander have been talking a lot about this. But I have always wanted a guard dog, like a really mean, scary dog.
And my dog's mean.
Xander's like, why do you need a like mean dog? Like, we need to get a golden retriever. I'm like, because I like have had so many things happen. I just feel like I need like a dog that can like that I'll be comfortable going out by myself with a dog. Like,
see, now that is something about Hazel. She's the sweetest dog at home, but she absolutely hates strangers. So I am totally comfortable going on a walk, just me and her. Because
Hazel will tear you up.
If she sees anybody, she is lunging, she is growling, she's showing her teeth. Like, nobody's gonna come after me on a walk with Hazel. So like, I will go with her, but I would never walk through my neighborhood just me. Like, I would never do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get like a big scary dog at some point. It will be very highly trained and all that stuff, but yeah. Anyway, should we just start from the beginning of our reading journeys? Do you want to do that, or do you want to like kind of go back and forth?
Oh my gosh. So the earliest books that I like remember really loving was Junie B. Jones in elementary school.
I loved Junie B. Jones.
And Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Like, those were the two things that I remember. Yeah. I read every single book. Like, I have vivid memories from going to the library in my elementary school and checking out a Junie B. Jones book, like, daily. Like, I'd read them in a day, take it back, check out another one.
I loved Junie B. Jones. Have you ever read the Dork Diaries books?
I don't know if I actually read those, but I know exactly what
I
know
loved
about them.
I loved those books. So Dork Diaries, Junie B. Jones. I mean, if we're going all the way back, I do remember reading like the Dr. Seuss books. Like, I remember that. Like, I've always just loved like books, I think.
Yeah, I have too. Yeah, because like whenever I think about when did I start reading, I've just always been reading. Yeah. Always. Like, I always left book fair. Yeah. Man, book fair.
Wow. So, book fair, what was your go-to?
So I would always get a book, obviously. It would vary, like what genre. But something about me when I was younger. Yeah. I collected erasers. Okay. I collected erasers. So I was totally buying an eraser from like the little trinket table at book fair. And I love those little scented markers and scented colored pencils.
The pencils were my favorite.
Oh my gosh. I collected those
pencils. Is that what they're called? Yes, I love those. I think they still make them. I don't know. They come in the little tubes.
Yeah, I think they do, because we just had book fair at my school. And they had so many things.
That would have like... throw me right back.
I was like taking my kids so they could go like buy
I
their
would have been
things.
buying everything.
I was having so much fun. I was like, guys, I remember this when I was like 8, and they were like, okay.
I remember the pens that they had there that like had like zebra heads on them, and you'd squeeze them, and their like eyes would pop out. Like, do you remember those?
Oh my gosh,
I'm just remembering like all those like very specific things
I
from the book fair.
I used to rip the eyes out. Well, it's because I'm such a fidgeter. So, like, I would fidget with it, right? But then I would, like, grab the eyeballs, and then... Dude, core memory unlocked. Ripping the eyeballs off my pens. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
I forgot about those.
There was also those pens that have, like, 15 colors in them.
Yes.
And you try to push them all down at the same time.
Uh-huh. Oh, my gosh.
Those, the Smensels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, for me at the book fair, and I might have touched on this before... my parents always told me, like, growing up, they were like, you know, you have to ask if you want to buy anything, but if it's a book, like, we'll always buy it for you. So the book fair, I was always so excited because I knew I could get something, and my parents were like, we'll get you anything as long as it's a book. You can only get one thing if you buy books too. So like one like item. So I remember I would be so sneaky, and I would buy these like packs of books that had like a necklace with them just because I wanted the necklace, right? So that's where I got these books. They're called the Rainbow Fairy series.
Okay, this
So
is like
I'll
ringing
have to show
a
them
bell.
to you.
I need you to show me a
think
picture.
I don't know. I feel like you'll recognize them.
I think I will, because when you started explaining them to me, I was like, wait, my brain is tingling. My brain is tingling. I feel as if I might remember.
Oh, it's like Rainbow Magic.
Yes!
Did you read
Oh
those?
My Emma.
I tore these books
Emma,
up.
stop it right now. I forgot about these.
Yes, I freaking love them. And there's all the different colors.
The pink one was always my favorite.
There's Emma. Yeah, and there was one named after me.
Yes.
So these books, which if you guys don't know what we're talking about, go look it up. They're the Rainbow Magic like fairy
and you
books.
could get these at Book Fair, right?
Yes.
I think that's where I got
and they
all
were
of mine.
always in packs because they're just as big as like a Junie B. Jones book. And then they would come in the packs, and they would come with like a necklace or something like that. So I would always get those and like wear the necklace because it would have like a little rainbow fairy on it or something, you know, something girly. And then I would go and get the diaries. I always had to have a diary every single time.
With the locks.
With the locks.
Your diary has to
But
be locked.
I grew up in a house. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. So nothing was ever private growing up. So I'd write in my little diaries, and like my siblings would all read it. So
Did you not lock it?
I did. But those locks are like
Pickable.
very pickable.
So
Like, what? I even had that like voice activated diary thing.
Oh, Emma, I'm freaking out right now.
Yes. The invisible ink, and like you had to do your voice password.
How are you remembering all of this? I feel like
Because I loved this. This is what I lived for. And it had like the drawer in it, and it was voice activated. And there was a little light that popped up, and it was like the black light thing. But I would write really mean things about my siblings in there.
You're like triggering memories in my brain right now.
This is my favorite thing, like nostalgia and stuff.
I would do anything to read an elementary school Lexi and Emma diary entry. Like, what were we complaining about?
I have some. Should I bring them on the pod?
You have them still?
I have some amazing entries. You were at Maddie's wedding. Do you not remember my maid of honor speech?
I do remember. That was I
like
love that.
I wrote down everything. I have this is kind of.
Do you have it like handy?
I hope Xander never watches this podcast episode. Well, he can in a little bit, but actually, I have a letter to my future husband in there too. So
you told me about this.
I'm gonna read it to him like as part of my vows, like at our actual wedding. So, yep,
that's so cute.
So yeah,
Wait, so do you
I did a lot of
your
stuff.
entries like readily available? Like,
They're not here. They're at my mom's house.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a haunted mansion story that I wrote. I've read these kind of recently. Whenever I was moving here, that I used to write stories.
So you were an author.
I was an author.
Emma, new podcast episode idea. You're gonna bring all of your.
You're gonna
stories.
react to my my writing.
We're gonna read them on the pod, and we're gonna react. And I think this is going to... Oh, wow, I'm so excited. This is going to be such a good podcast episode.
I didn't even think about that. But yes,
I'm geeking out right now.
So many diary entries. I have like so many things. We can also go through... I have a bunch of love notes from my elementary school boyfriends.
Wow.
So we can read all of it. I am so sentimental. I've kept everything all through the years. Actually, those love notes are upstairs. I have them in my attic.
I'm the opposite of sentimental. I don't have anything.
I have birthday cards from the time I was 2 years old. Like, I literally keep everything.
I do actually keep like all of the cards I've ever been given. So I do have cards, but that's like it. But the thing is, I don't ever go back and read them. So like, am I really sentimental?
I do sometimes, and we should go through I have a memory box with like all kinds of stuff in it. We should go through it one time.
That'd be so fun.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Wow.
It's crazy. So, yes.
Dude, not the Rainbow Fairy books.
The Rainbow Fairy books.
Core memories. That's just like, that is where girlhood started. That is girlhood right there.
Yes. So, I remember after I read those Rainbow Fairy books and I like made my way through those series, the Junie B. Jones, the Dork Diaries, all of that. I don't think I read the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books because like we watched the TV shows. Also, like I kind of grew up with like my cousins and stuff. They were all boys. And so this was funny because like I was very tomboy. Like I'd play out in the woods, I'd go in the creek all the time, but I was so girly at the same time. So I was like, I do not want to read those are for boys. And like I wouldn't read it because like I wanted to be so girly.
Yeah. Like
my mom always said like I'd play in the creek with my church clothes. Like I'd be wearing a full dress and I'd be in the creek or like catching frogs and stuff. Like I was so outdoorsy because I lived in the woods. So yeah, I grew up in the woods, like whatever, but I've always been super like girly and stuff still. So I remember not reading those, and then I found this book, and I'm pretty sure this is like, I'm just thinking back to like the earliest books, but that's the one that made me like jaw drop because I remembered how much I freaking loved this book. It was so thick, and I remember like I was so proud of myself for reading this book that was so thick. It was just as thick as like the Harry Potter books almost. Well, that's a lie. It's not that thick. But in my head, it probably was.
Yeah.
It's probably as thick as like that When the Moon Hatched book. But I was so little, and it might not even be. I might just be exaggerating. But it's called A Nest for Celeste. And it's this little mouse. And the mouse goes on these adventures. And I don't remember everything about it. But she needed a little nest, a home. And it was so good. And I freaking loved that book.
It was so good.
And I was so obsessed with it, and I remember showing off to everyone, I read this book and it's this thick, and like showing it off to how big the book was.
Wow.
And that's kind of
why you were such a baddie at a young age.
I know, no one could read like me. And that's how I got into the Harry Potter books, because then I was like, yeah, that's not anything, I can read those. And I started reading them and I loved them.
So while you were talking, you just keep sparking memories.
Yay.
No, but I have some really unhinged stories to share. I forgot about this lore. I really
just wait until we get into the Wattpad, girl.
No, I literally forgot about all this lore. So you were talking about how you like lived in the forest, and so not the forest. The woods.
She was a fairy. Guys, so my parents live in a cottage in the forest.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
I'm in the woods. Okay.
I don't know why that just sounded like so magical. I'm like,
she was a fairy.
Anyway. I'm gonna love this episode. I can already tell.
You have no idea how excited I've been to film this episode, because I just knew it's gonna be our best one. Anyways, I just want to prepare you guys that this is an unhinged, highly inappropriate story that I'm about to share. But you're talking about like your neighborhood, like where you live, right? So I grew up. I'll just say where I grew up because I don't live there anymore. I lived in Sissonville. Mm-hmm. And if you're local, you know anything about Sissonville. It's like
a little janky.
A little janky, a little country bumpkin, you know what I'm saying? But I lived in like a perfectly fine neighborhood. The thing is, though, right behind my house, there was what was later a condemned meth house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But this is where the story comes from. I'm in my backyard. I'm little, okay? Like, my parents are still together, so I'm like 4, probably. And I remember this vividly. Like, that's how traumatic this was.
Okay.
This is truly where my lore started. I'm playing on my little swing set. My dad's cutting the grass. My mom's like raking and bagging up the grass, okay?
Okay.
Like
Teamwork.
This is the setting. This lady comes running down the street, okay? The street behind my house. She's running as fast as she possibly can. She hops over my fence. Hops. Like did not climb the fence. Hopped over the fence into my backyard. And she's clearly on drugs, okay? Like, she's clearly not okay.
But you're just a baby.
I'm just a little baby. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like, oh, hey, neighbor's here. Hey, girl.
We all do that.
And she starts, like saying that we need to call 911, that she's, like, dying, and keeps, like, pointing at her arm. Like, she had, like, missed her vein.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
How does this tie into
But actually worse. But it actually gets worse.
Okay.
She literally starts stripping. Takes off her shirt. She has no bra on, Emma. There's no bra.
Where is this podcast going? What is happening? No way.
Yes. Yeah. I just remember my mom, like, rushing me inside, and my dad's, like, you know, calling the cops. Like, this lady's, like, stripping in our yard in front of a 4-year-old girl. So you were like, oh, I used to, like, play in the creek in the woods. And I was like,
is what reminded me.
and I was like, I used to play in my backyard.
Stop.
No, but, like, I didn't live in a bad neighborhood. That's the thing. It was like a nice-ish, like, just very middle-class neighborhood.
Yeah, most of West Virginia is like...
But there was just a house behind me that was crusty, you know? You know what I'm saying?
I can't believe that happened. Nor that my story sparked that memory.
Also, I used to, like, think it was so funny that happened, that, like, I would tell everybody. Like, I remember when I moved to where I live now and, like, started a new school, I'd be like...
This lady got naked in front of
literally,
me.
they'd be like, where did you live before you moved here? And I'd tell them, and then I'd always tell them that story. I'm like, yeah, that's where I came from.
Oh my gosh.
That's where my lore started.
Honestly, I feel like just talking about this could be a double episode right now. Like, just talking about this, because I'm thinking of so many things right now. But yeah, I just remember, like, growing up in the creek and stuff, and we would catch crawdads, and I think this is illegal, but we would dig a little, like, trench in the sand and, like, let them fight each other, which I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Like, you put 2 crawdads in the same, like, pit, and they'll, like, fight each other. I don't think they ever, like, killed each other, though. But yeah.
I did not know this. I've never heard of this lore.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal to, like, let crawdads fight.
That's a weird...
It is weird.
That's a weird law.
So we would catch those. And then I remember catching the snapping turtles that were in our creek. I had no fear.
In your fairy cottage.
In my fairy forest. Mm-hmm. And we would catch the snakes. Like, I had no fear back then. And then, we made, like, homemade tire swings and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I grew up outside, climbing trees. I had no fear of anything. I remember climbing, like, huge trees. And then we would do this thing. It's called skinning a cat. Do you know what that is?
No.
So you'd have to find a tree near you, because you can't really climb down the trees. It's not the same as climbing up them. You'd have to find a tree near you that was thick enough to hold your weight without breaking, but skinny enough to where you can get down to the ground. So you would jump onto the tree. I don't know how I did this stuff and, like, never broke a bone. My siblings all did, and, like, my cousin did. And so you would jump onto that tree that's smaller, let it take you down to the ground, or as close as you could get to the ground, because it would bend, and then you'd let go of it and snap up. But I remember, like, one time I had done that, and it snapped up, and it hit my cousin really hard. But I'm talking, like, super tall trees and stuff. Like, I don't know how I had no fear like that. Like, I used to be, like, wild, and I would talk to, like, I remember, like, my parents always said, like, we'd go to the beach and I'd be talking to all the teenagers and stuff. Like, I had no fear. Wow. And I went from that to being so extremely shy and introverted, because I used to get bullied a lot.
Dude, same. I was like, are we going to talk about our bullying lore in middle school?
Yes, I definitely
We need to get back to our books, though, and I feel like we'll eventually get off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even got to middle school yet. We're literally just talking about elementary school.
Okay, so are you ready for middle school?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I do want to bring up this book though, and I don't know how old I was when I read it, or if it was like after I kind of got into reading. Like, I always read and stuff, but like I wouldn't have said like I was an avid reader. We did have AR. Do you remember AR?
Yes.
So AR is like accelerated reader is what it is. So you would read books and like take quizzes on them in class and like in school. And then you could get like prizes and stuff, I think, for like
and if you got like the
AR
most
points.
AR points in a class, like you get a pizza party or something. I remember that.
So I was all for those, and I would do the AR. So I think that's the main reason I read so much.
Me too. Okay, and I'm really glad you're bringing this up.
So I'm like, AR actually slays. Yes. High school program that actually.
That might be exactly what got me into reading, actually, was AR. But I remember in 2nd grade, my teacher, I don't know if she and her husband had built it. I don't know. In the back corner of my classroom, she had built a castle. Like a wooden castle.
That's amazing.
Painted it all pretty. And it was like the library castle. When you went inside, it was just shelves of books.
That's amazing.
It was...
Sounds like your teacher was like living out their childhood.
Yes,
like, you don't realize that stuff till you're older.
Now
like,
I'm looking back, like... And I just remember being so obsessed with the castle and like looking forward to like going in and picking out my next AR book and then reading it and taking the quiz. And so honestly, I feel like that might be where my love for reading started, was that teacher I had in 2nd grade.
Oh. So, yeah, basically, I think this is the first book that got me into like actually reading. I think it was after like after the selection series. I don't remember.
You know, I never read the selection series. I feel like that's like
I feel like you could literally go back and read it now.
A canon event. Everyone reads the selection, but
so
I never did.
Good. I mean, I literally read it recently for our like little nostalgic December thing, and I went in.
And you still loved it?
I think you could go back and read it. If you just wanted a cute little read. It is basically like The Bachelor, but like princesses, and like the prince, he has all these people from all the different classes. So I think there's like 13 or something, but they all have like a social standing, and then he'll get one girl from all of them, and it's like the chance to like, basically it makes sure that like the royals and stuff are like also like normal people. So like the queen, she'll be the next queen if she marries him and stuff, and then she'll be like, it's just their tradition, I'm pretty sure. In there it's called Ilia, but that might be a different book. That might have been, guys, this is so funny. Have you read, it might have been Children of Eden. Have you read Children of Eden? It was by Joey Graceffa, the YouTuber.
Dude, I remember him. I loved him.
Those books were so good. I don't know.
I didn't know he was an author.
Yes, he wrote this Children of Eden series, and it's like the Elites of Eden. I loved those books, and it was like, so it was dystopian, and the girl
he
was
wrote
like,
a dystopian series.
It was so good. I
Joey
still have
Graceffa.
them. Yes, I don't think they're here. I think they're at my mom's house. But yeah, they're not here. Nope.
I've never heard of this, and I
They're
loved
so
him.
good. And so the girl, her name's Rowan, and basically like each family was only allowed to have one kid, and then she was like the second kid. They were twins. Guys, a little spoiler, she was actually older than her brother, but she didn't get to live because her brother had a bunch of health problems because their dad tried to abort the baby because there was supposed to be only one of them, but there was two of them, and they were like government people. The parents were part of the government, and so they lived in a really nice house with like this natural stone. It was like one of the founders' houses or something of the country or whatever. And obviously like the world is destroyed, so it's like kind of like every other thing, but like it was so good. And there's an underground world and all this system, and the girl was like living in the walls, and her name is
In the Walls?
Rowan, I think.
Wait,
yeah,
why do I want to read this right now?
you should. It was so
sounds
good.
So good.
I have them at home.
I think I'd like that like right now as an adult.
It was actually so good. And they have this little backyard. It was the only time the girl could leave, and so like every day she would go out there and like try to climb the wall and run around. And hold on,
Oh,
it was actually so good. But I was gonna bring up this other book, which I feel like is as close to the books that I read, like a cutesy romance now, than like as possible. And it was Anna and the French Kiss. Did you read those?
you'd have to show it to me, because
This was the book. Isn't it cool too? Like it looks cool.
it does look cool.
Yeah,
I've not read that.
I have all of those books. And then that's the other cover. Cool. And then he has Elites of Eden, which is like the second book. I just have to show you all of these. And then, did you read Girl Online? I loved Girl Online.
So that's not ringing a bell either.
I have to show you these. So Anna and the French Kiss were the other books I've read. And those are the covers.
I've not read that.
And I'm pretty sure those are still like YA things. And then Girl Online were my favorite. And I'm pretty sure she was like this famous. I don't remember the whole premise of this one.
I just remember in middle school I was like really in my dystopian era. It was very much Hunger Games, Maze Runner, and Divergent.
Those are Girl Online.
No, but I remember Zoe Sugg, I loved her.
Yeah, isn't she's like also, is she a singer or a
YouTuber?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's another YouTuber that I read her books. So,
wow.
And those were at the book fair too. The Girl Online books.
Wow.
Guys, I actually forgot about all these. So, see, this is why I don't write them down, because I'll just think of them while we're talking.
Well, wow, I'm
so
impressed.
Those were like middle school, and I also read like The Maze Runner and all those too.
The thing is, those three, like my big three, The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, and Divergent, I reread and reread those books. Like, I think that I have probably read Hunger Games, all of those books, like 4, 5, 6 times a piece. Like, all in 6th grade.
I don't reread books. I can't, but...
See, now I don't, but then I just kept rereading because I was like, nothing's going to get better than this.
I did love all of those books too, but I think that was like later middle school for me.
Yeah, I think mine was earlier in like middle school.
Yeah.
And then I remember being so excited when all those movie adaptations came out. Like, and they just hit so hard. Like, all of those were done so well. Like, I remember I love
Maze Runner has always been like my favorite like little series. Yes. I love those.
Yeah, so good. And I just feel like they casted really well for all of those.
Yeah, they did. I
feel like now casting is getting a little not great. Like, you know, I just feel like I'm always disappointed by the actors that they choose. Maybe it was just because I was a kid and I didn't care. You know what's
funny? I watched a movie the other night. It's called The Gorge. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Well, it has Anna Taylor-Joy from The Queen's Gambit, and it has Miles Teller. You know Miles Teller? He's in a lot of stuff, but like namely like Whiplash, which was funny because they actually tied those shows and movies into the movie I was watching. But The Gorge, it's kind of like a zombie thing, but basically they're like in these 2 towers over this gorge. It's like this trench, and then there's like the zombies or whatever infected people are like in there, and they have to like protect it from like getting out, and it's like a national secret. It was a good movie. This was funny though, because I was like, this is such a good, like, these 2 actors are so good, they're such good acting, that like even though the storyline wasn't that good, that the movie was good because the actors were so good, it's been a while since I've had that. And I already love those 2 actors, but just like watching that, the ending, it was just like so weird. Like the storyline was not there, but those actors were so good that I liked the movie. So that's kind of the opposite end. Like the actors were so good that I liked it.
Yeah.
But there was another movie I watched the other day, and it was actually really good. It was the first like really good movie I've just watched out of the blue in a long time, and it was on Netflix. And gosh, it had what's her face in? Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up.
Okay, while you're looking that up, but I actually do want to ask you a question.
Remember.
Did you ever read John Green books in middle school?
Yes, I did.
Okay, John Green. Wow, I just have a lot of John Green lore. So first of all, I never claimed to be anything but basic. The Fault in Our Stars was my favorite book by him. I loved it so much. I remember vividly sobbing to that book. I had a Fault in Our Stars poster up in my room right above my bed. And that is who I named my dog after, Hazel Grace, because that's my dog's name, and it's also the female main character's name in that book. So I was just a John Green girly. I remember I read like Looking for Alaska.
Yeah. Oh, I read that book. Looking for Alaska made me cry.
What are some other... Paper Towns, maybe?
Paper Towns, Turtles All the Way Down. I read that one, too.
What other books are by John Green that I read? I'm going to need you to look up John Green books.
I'm trying to find this stupid movie, because it was actually so good.
Also, I'm pretty sure that some of those books by him are, like, banned books now.
Oh, I'm sure.
I feel like whenever we went to Black Cat Books and Oddities that in their little banned books closet. I feel like I remember seeing a John Green book and I was really shocked. I was like, how's this banned? I was reading this as a kid.
Guys, I can't for the life of me think of this book or this movie, but it was basically, and I can't remember who was in it. It was a famous actor, and like, oh, I'm gonna freak out. Anyway, but it was the girl from Divergent. It's the same girl, I think. Yeah, and she was part of she was like a police officer, but then they kind of recruited her to the FBI to find this like sniper guy. But it was so good. Oh my gosh. So look that up and find that movie and watch it. But it was actually so good. Anyway.
Also, the female main character in Divergent, she's who also played the female main character in the Fault in Our Stars movie, right?
Maybe.
I think so.
So I'm going to say something about the Fault in Our Stars. Don't get mad at me.
Okay.
I always didn't like movies and TV shows and stuff that my sister liked. Because she liked them. And she would get so obsessed with things that she would make me watch them over and over again. And I hate rewatching stuff.
And that was one of them.
That was one of them. And so was like Starstruck. Do you ever watch that? Same thing with High School Musical. I couldn't stand it because my sister made me watch it so many times.
I was addicted to High School Musical back in the day.
And it's why I didn't like Justin Bieber growing up. It's why I didn't like
I was a believer
Ariana Grande growing up.
Through and through.
It's because my sister was so obsessed and I just couldn't do it.
You want to know something so funny? My mom got me into Twilight really young.
I feel like
Were you Team Jacob or Team Edward?
Edward.
Really?
Yeah.
I was Team Jacob. So Team Jacob that I not only had posters of him in my room, but I kid you not, I got a life-size cardboard cutout of Taylor Lautner, and he sat in my room.
You know his last name is Lautner. Did you know that?
No, sorry, Taylor Lautner.
No, everyone says Lautner, and he's only come out recently and been like, it's Lautner. But he doesn't care. Here.
Well, I've been calling him Lautner my whole life.
I feel like we've named all of those. I don't think he cares. He said, I don't care. We've pretty much named all of the notable ones.
I think I did read Will Grayson.
I think all the ones we've named are the ones I read. I don't think I've read anything else.
Yeah, me neither. I see an abundance of Catherines, but I did not read that growing up. Yeah, okay, so we got like all the big ones.
Yeah, I did love John Green.
I would also like watch his YouTube videos too.
I didn't.
I just was a John Green girly. That's so funny. I'm trying to think. What else did I have written down? Oh, I think did you ever read Milk and Honey?
No. Wait, the
it's like
poems. Actually, guys, I bought that book and I was so excited for it because I was getting bullied a lot, so then I got really depressed.
Dude, this is exactly where I was going in this conversation.
I was such an emo girl. And
same. In middle school, 7th grade in particular was my year of only wearing black. I was so depressed. I was listening to like Nirvana, AC/DC. Like I was listening to genre of music that I never listen to now.
Yeah.
Like but I was getting so bullied in middle school.
Yeah,
I was so sad.
I actually literally got beat up some days and had to like.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. I said yeah. No, I got bullied a lot. But anyway, I remember I bought that book and my mom went through it and saw that there was like some.
It's really inappropriate, actually.
Some inappropriate poems and stuff, and she forced me to return it. I was so mad at her. I was like, you don't understand me. This is what everyone reads.
See,
everyone
I don't
has
think
these
my
depressing
parents
quotes.
Knew that, like... Or
I don't think my mom knew either, but I left
it
on the counter in the kitchen when I bought it, and I didn't even get to read it.
I don't think that it even occurred to either of them that the books I was reading could be inappropriate.
Yeah.
Because they never monitored what books I read, and my mom was like pretty strict growing up. Yeah. She like went through my phone and stuff.
I think my mom knew a lot of that because she's an elementary school teacher and then principal. So like they kind of like brief her on all that stuff, and like my mom kind of knew how to work all the social medias and everything because of that. So I couldn't really get away with anything.
But I feel like my mom probably bought me Milk and Honey, and that's like a really depressing book of poems, and like some of them were like a little bit sexual, and I was like literally a child. I don't know why I was reading that.
Yeah, mine was probably in like 8th grade, 9th grade, but yeah, when I was very young. Yeah, you have Percy Jackson on here you haven't talked about. I do love this one, and I loved it so much, and I used to watch it a bunch and read it.
Is it the series of unfortunate events? Is that the one you're going to talk about?
Actually, I love that one too, but then my sister got a hold of this movie, and so then I stopped wanting to watch it.
What was it?
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Oh my gosh, I loved that book. I bought that book at book fair. I remember that so vividly. And then the movie is so good. The movie
was so good.
And actually, when I put that on the list this morning, I was like, when I go home tonight, I think I might try to watch it. Like,
I actually watched it kind of recently with Xander.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, because I love it with Colton. I haven't seen it in a really long time, but I just remember
like these old like nostalgic things. I'm like, you have to know what I know.
Yeah.
Like, watch it. So we watched it kind of recently, but yeah.
I always thought that movie was just like so sweet and special.
But yeah, then my sister got a hold of it and I didn't like it anymore. So yeah, that's the big reason why I don't relate to a lot of people with like loving High School Musical and like Justin Bieber and all that stuff, because my sister got a hold of all of that and I was just like fed up. I didn't want to like the same things as her. So I always had to be different. The other thing about me in middle school, actually I was in elementary school too, middle school, like, because like I got bullied a lot and stuff, I was such a liar. Like I lied about things all the time.
Wow.
Like stupid things. I remember telling somebody that I wrote Thriller by Michael Jackson. Like I wrote that song.
You wrote that. And did they believe you?
I don't know. Probably not. That
is such an unhinged lie.
I told someone I had a guitar-shaped pool. I told somebody that I was related to Selena Gomez at some point. I just remember all these like crazy things I used to say. And I was spoken a British accent for a long time. Told people my name was Ashley.
You know what?
I just didn't want to be myself because I got bullied so much.
Dude, that's so unhinged. It actually, I have a funny story that I need to share. It stems from bullying. There was this group of popular girls that were bullies. I was not in the popular group, okay? Like, in middle school, I was like very emo, very depressed. I was
such a loner.
Yeah, like I had awful acne. Like I just was not cute, okay? Like I wasn't cute. It's fine. But those popular girls, they were always like really pretty and whatever. They used to make fun of me. But I remember 2 of them in particular were just like really extra mean to me. And this was probably in 6th or 7th grade. Do you remember the bubble gum, like the Dr. Pepper bubble gum, the Fanta bubble gum? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, it was really popular back then, okay?
Okay.
And those girls would bring that gum to school, and they would share with everyone in class, like, the people that they deemed worthy of their bubble gum, essentially. And I remember asking for a piece, and they told me no. And so, like, I went home, and I was, like, really upset about it. I remember telling my parents. My dad was so pissed. You know what he did? He immediately went online and bought every flavor in bulk.
Oh, my gosh. That's so sweet.
I got ginormous boxes of Dr. Pepper bubblegum, and he was like, Lexi, I want you to take this to school and share with everybody but those 2 girls. And I did, Emma.
I'm gonna be that kind of parent.
I literally did.
I love that.
My mom was like the treat others how you want to be treated, like Christian mom. And my dad was like, no, you're gonna treat others the way they treat you, period. But I remember taking that gum to school, and I was so cool because he even got me extra flavors that those girls did not have.
Oh.
And so everyone wanted my gum. And so I was sharing with everyone but those 2 girls. And I'm like, honestly, you deserve that because they were mean.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I have so many instances that I still remember to this day of things that, like, exact things they said to me.
Yeah, me too. I had a time where I was invited to one of the popular girls' birthday parties. And I used to be friends with them in elementary school, but then they got too cool for me, you know? And I was invited to one of their birthday parties, and they stood me up in front of everyone and told me everything that they thought was wrong with me.
At the birthday party?
Yep. Until I bawled my eyes out and, like...
Where were their parents?
Their parents did not care. And their parents were, like, condoning it. Like, they wanted them to be, like, popular and stuff like that. So, that happened. I had... this girl in particular who, this is kind of sad because now she, actually I don't want to talk about what But yeah, this girl in middle school, every single day I would come into class and she sat behind me. I would come in and I would go to the bathroom because it was like that was like my timing of that class. I'd always go to the bathroom. So I'd put my stuff on my desk and go to the bathroom. Every time I'd come back in, my stuff would be thrown across the room. She would throw it across the room. And the whole time in the class, she would kick the back of my seat like so hard. She would come up behind me in the hallways and punch me in the back and stuff. This was the girl that like always hit me and stuff. And I'd have like literally, I had bruises from it. I had to tell the principal at one point. And then she got mad at me for snitching on her. And like, I don't ever think that she got in that much trouble for it. Like, I think she probably got like lunch detention or something.
What in the world? Like,
yeah.
What were our teachers doing? Like, how did the
I
teacher
also
not
have
see
a lot
her,
of
like, throwing
trauma
your stuff?
from teachers. Like, more so than, no, not more so, but almost the same as students. Like, I had a lot of stuff happen with teachers that, like, I hated.
As a teacher, that disturbs me.
Yeah. Like, especially after, like, traumatic things happen to me. Like, this is so dark for the podcast. My grandmother had cancer. And I actually, like, watched her die in front of me. Like, I was there. And it was very traumatic, obviously. And I think, like, the next day at school, like, my mom actually made me go to school the next day. And the next day at school, I remember going in and we were dissecting like frogs and in like my science class, and she was talking about what happens to your body when you die and all this stuff. And so it was just so triggering to me because I literally just watched that and I was bawling my eyes out and I didn't want to do it. And she told me I was going to get an F if I didn't participate. And like, and guys, I never had a B in my life. Like, I was always straight A student and I was like, I would have lost it. Like, so I was just so upset, and they sent me to the principal's office because I was crying and I refused to do it. And I remember the principal literally told me, she was like, you know, bad things happen in waves of 3. So you're done having bad things. You can just get over it now. Like, that's literally what she told me.
Oh,
my dad was deployed. My grandmother had passed away. Like, I remember just like awful things kept happening to me. And I also remember like going back to class and a kid said they could make a Netflix movie about how awful your life is.
Oh,
so
what? Okay,
there's a lot of things.
What is wrong with middle schoolers? Like, I genuinely don't think.
I've had awful things happen to me in high school. Probably worse than middle school too.
For me, at least.
My 9th grade year was the worst.
Dude, same.
When I got to like senior year, I didn't care anymore. So like I didn't really have anything going on.
You probably don't know this, and I don't ever talk about it, and I won't dive into it because I don't want the world knowing things about me. But I had so many bad traumatic things happen to me in 9th grade where I used to live that it literally caused me and my mom to have to pick up and move. Like, my mom and I had to move because of things that was happening to me for my freshman year of high school.
I think you told me about this stuff before,
so I relate to that 100%.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I still consider middle school worse because I remember middle school. I like the way my brain works is like it just trauma blocks.
I trauma block a lot too.
I don't remember anything from my freshman year of high school.
I feel like a lot of the time when I talk about it now, it doesn't even feel like it was like me. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like I'm just like talking about this stuff. Like, it doesn't feel like it was me. I think I have a lot of things that I'm like, the way that my mind trauma blocks things, I'm like, did that even happen? Like, did that really happen? I don't remember. Like, I wasn't there for that. Like, did that really happen? And I'll be talking to, this is so random. I almost got robbed one time at Jersey Mike's when I was a manager there.
Oh my gosh.
I worked there.
Not the manager getting robbed.
No, like, it was a scam. It was a massive scam. And I was so like young and naive. I didn't understand like what was going on. Really, like, no one had like explained anything to me, but basically this guy had called in and said that he was the franchise owner, like used the guy's name. And so like I thought it was him because I hadn't worked there that long, and I thought it was him, and he was telling me to like count the money in the cash drawer and stuff, and saying that somebody was stealing and they were watching on the cameras and that somebody was stealing. And then like he was talking to me and he was like, I know where you are right now. Like, I don't know if they had hacked the cameras, I don't know what had happened, but I forgot about it because, like, I mean, like, obviously he didn't actually rob us. Like, he didn't get anything because, like, I ended up being, like, I ended up actually texting my GM and being like, this is crazy. And, like, he told me not to talk to anyone. He was like, I can see your phone right now. Like, I can see what you're doing. Like, don't tell anybody this. Like I this is a big, like, investigation right now. Somebody's been stealing, and one of the employees that's with you right now has been stealing. And so I was like freaking out. I remember having a panic attack and like crying at the door, and I had to go home because like I was like, I can't handle this. So anyway, if that ever happens to you at work, it's a scam.
Life lessons with
But
Emma.
it was so scary. And like,
that does sound scary.
I literally thought that they were going to like come in and shoot me after that because like,
And also, that was
I
probably like
told
one of
them.
your first jobs. Like, that would be really
It was
scary.
my first job. I had like babysat before, but not like had an actual,
Mhm.
that was my first actual job. And when I got that job, I was so shy. I didn't speak to anybody. I remember my parents did not want me to have a job at that time for whatever reason. And I went and like behind their backs and I went and interviewed, and I had a panic attack, and it was like awful, and I was shaking so bad like a leaf during the interview because I'd never interviewed before. Like, I was so shy. I didn't talk to anybody. It was so bad I'd never even ordered my own food at a restaurant. Like, I couldn't do it. I remember one time that I wanted to order something and I freaked out and just said I wanted chicken tenders because that was just that was my revert, you know. And I remember sobbing, and my whole family was laughing at me and calling me baby and stuff because I was sobbing about chicken tenders. And I'm like, it's not that, it's like the principle of the fact that I couldn't order what I wanted because I was so scared. And that's when I got my first freaking job, and that I really truly think that that's what like broke me out of that. So I really am thankful it's for that job because it's like what made me extroverted now. Like, I am extroverted now. Well, I feel like I'm a little bit of both, but I can go talk to people now. And yeah, that is the whole reason. But I used to be so shy, but that job like broke me out of it, and it was because I got bullied in middle school.
Wow.
The lore.
Basically, our lore started with bullying and books,
and book fair.
like, essentially that's where we stemmed from.
Yeah, and I think that's what got me really into like all of the scary books and stuff too, was like during that time.
Like escapism, and we still use reading as escapism.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there was obviously the Asylum series.
Mm-hmm.
I read these books called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which they recently made into horror movies.
Cool. Okay, so I never read those. I've heard of them.
They're scary. If I read them now, I'd probably be a little freaked out. They're like short stories. They're like each page is a different story, or like every 2 pages is a different story. But they were scary. They were very dark. And I remember like my parents wouldn't let me read stuff like that because like we were very Christian and stuff, and like they were like, you know, this is demonic and you can't read this. But my brothers would like give me the books, or like that Asylum series my grandmother bought for me. Like, it was so funny. So yeah, those books I would read. I remember sneaking and watching the Goosebump movies, and like I would hide and watch them, and I loved like all of those scary things. Like I would watch a lot of that stuff. So those were my scary movies.
Oh my gosh, we
have to talk about Wattpad.
Yes, we cannot in this episode without talking about Wattpad, because if we're all being honest with ourselves, this is where the lore really starts, is Wattpad.
Wattpad is what made us who we are today, I think.
Is it like still a thing, or it's like really it's gone?
I bet it is a thing, but I bet it's not like, I think it is a thing. I think it's still an app, but I don't think it's like what it used to be, obviously.
I only remember one particular book, one author from Wattpad, and it was probably my favorite book. Like, well, that's a broad statement. It was The Cellar by Natasha Preston.
I read it.
I
know what you're talking about.
I love that book. Again, my parents probably should have been monitoring what I was reading, because that was something I should not have been reading at that age.
Yeah.
But I remember I had alarms set on my phone weekly, because
for when they would come out.
When they'd come out with a new chapter, because that was the thing with Wattpad, is
they would release it chapter by chapter. I would be so mad when I had to wait.
A chapter a week. So I was that girl reading along a chapter a week of The Cellar as it came out. And the premise of the book is this guy that kidnaps girls and puts them in his cellar. He's trying to create his own perfect family.
Yep.
And he names the girls different flower names.
I remember
so there's like Rose and Poppy, and
Yeah.
And it was just, it had like a lot of sexual assault in it and things. Like each girl had a day that they would like have to service him. Like, it was, why was I reading this as a child?
Yeah.
And why was I so into it? Like that's the weird part. I'm like, why did I enjoy that so much?
I was probably a little older when I was like in Wattpad, but yeah, that I remember reading like literal like mafia romance kind of books or like forced marriage books. And they would be like,
see, I never really was really a romance girly until I got older.
yeah, no, I really read those like in Wattpad.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know what's crazy though? Like, and I still love going to the bookstore to this day for this reason, is that like a few years after that book blew up on Wattpad, it like got published and you can buy the seller.
I didn't know that.
And all of her books are at Books A Million. Like, every time I'm there, I see them. And I just think that's so cool. I'm like, I was an OG reader. I was reading chapter by chapter as she was writing this, and now her books are all published in big bookstores, and I just think that's so cool, and I feel cool for that.
You know what else I did, and it's kind of Wattpad-esque, was the app episode.
Episode.
So when Wattpad, when I read all the chapters that I could read, and I needed more, I downloaded Episode, and you could like have these characters and like make choices and make them do like, you can make them date people or cheat on people or do whatever you wanted.
Should she kiss her boyfriend or cheat on him?
I would always be messy. I would always be like, cheat and go get with her best friend's boyfriend.
Dude, I remember that game. I was so obsessed, but then I got annoyed because like
the ads and stuff.
And yes, you'd have to like pay.
You had to start. They started making you pay to make the good choices, like not the good choices, but the juicy ones.
Yeah, and of course you wanted the juicy ones. You
Obviously.
wanted your episode to be crazy,
right,
and full of lore.
Yes. So I was obsessed, and I actually remember like stealing my mom's credit card numbers and like buying like episode stuff. Do you know what else I did? Movie Star Planet.
I never did that one.
Movie Star Planet, me and Maddie would fight for the computer every day when we got home from school to get on there. I mean, that and like Roblox, dude. Like I played Roblox.
Dude, I loved Roblox. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and
I was a Minecraft.
I loved Minecraft.
Girl.
I actually remember in middle school staying up till like 3 a.m. with my cousin and being like, this is never gonna get old.
You just reminded me of something, Emma. Did you ever play the Slender Man game?
Yes, I did. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I loved that.
That game scared the piss out of me. I was like peeing my pants, okay? But I loved it so much. I was like, it's just the thrill of it, man. The thrill of getting killed by Slender Man. Like, oh my gosh.
This is like one that got taken over by like the middle schoolers of today that got like cringy like Among Us stuff, but like that granny game. Did you play that?
Yes.
I loved that too.
Oh. Dude, this is my favorite episode we've ever filmed. I'm having so much fun right now.
But yeah, and I remember even in like Roblox, I would play like the family ones, and I would like force all the other people to be like, okay, you're my baby and you're my dog and you get to be my husband, and I would like have my little family in our house, and I would force them to play.
Your forced family. Oh my god.
They'd try to be like, I gotta go, my mom wants me to get. I'd be like, no, we have things to do. Clean your room. But Movie Star Planet, I probably spent hundreds of my parents' dollars on Movie Star Planet.
Dude, that's me with Sims.
And didn't tell them. I wasn't allowed to play Sims. I wanted to. I watched YouTube of Sims.
Dude, you're saying you're not allowed to do all these things. I never got the vibe from your parents that they were like strict.
They were so strict. Not until Maddie turned like 21 did they stop being strict. And you probably weren't like close with us before then.
No, I wasn't.
They were so strict. All my friends, like, I think this was a big reason no one wanted to be my friend, is because everyone knew that like my parents would tell their parents, you know.
Yeah.
And there had been times I'd had people over and like we got caught like doing whatever. Like one time I was like FaceTiming a boy. My mom like took both of our phones and told her parents. Like there has been times like that. So
our moms would have been best.
I wasn't allowed to do anything. And that was the reason like that was the reason like my Wattpad everything was very sneaky. I snuck it all.
If I lived here.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, we probably would have been friends. We were both getting bullied. We liked all the same things. Our parents were both strict. Like we could have bonded.
Invisible string here.
Oh, wow. That's so cute.
So yeah, though, but that Movie Star Planet, and I remember one day my account got hacked and somebody took it and I had to make a new one. I was so mad because I spent all my mom's money on it. I had a subscription to it. My mom never knew. and I was spending so much money on it, and then Maddie did too. And so, like,
how did your parents never notice?
She found out one
money
day
was rapidly
and got
leaving their
so
bank account?
mad because I don't think it was a card she really used or like checked on that much.
It was like a credit card.
I think my mom found out one day and got so mad, like the amount of money it was. She probably thought like we had just done it a few times or just a little
But
bit.
it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Okay, Emma.
And I feel that's one of those things I feel so bad about now that I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, like you probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But you just reminded me. Were you a Webkins girly?
Yes, I was in the Webkins games. Yes, and I registered all of my little Webkins, and I
Every
play
one
on
of
there.
Dude, I loved
yes.
Webkins more than anything in this
Pop
world.
Tropica.
Oh, Pop Tropica! Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
I tore up Pop Tropica.
Dude, that's some lore right there. I remember
Getting to like the end of Pop Tropica
being in the computer lab at school.
Yes.
After I finished my math, I would get on
that
Pop
and the
Tropica.
Webkins, but like I never wanted to leave the computer lab. I tore up Pop Tropica.
So funny.
And you
Wow.
would like eat the gum that would change your hair color and stuff on Pop Tropica.
Oh, see, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and you had to like disguise yourself to I remember these like these games and like the way you had to get through it.
Wow, this is insane.
Oh, and all of the Papa's pizzerias and all of those that I played on Friv. Did you play on Friv?
Mm-mm.
So Friv was like a website that, and like Y8. Y8 ended up being really inappropriate. Like I don't know why I was ever allowed on there. So Y8 had like I can picture it. It was so old, like the way it was so retro. But I would play like dress up games on there, and they had like kind of inappropriate games on there too. But Y8 got like canceled by the school. Like couldn't get on it because it was like banned because there was inappropriate games on there. But I got on Friv, so it's basically it's probably still a thing, but it's just this website that has a bunch of games in it. So it had like the Papa's Pizzeria in it. It had like dress up games in it. It had like the take care of the dog games and nails, and it had like the Fireboy and Water Girl game, which I loved.
Oh my god,
playing that
yes,
after school, like in the computer lab, was my favorite. So
oh my gosh, wow.
Yay.
Okay, wait. Can we segue back to Wattpad? Because
Yes.
I feel like I remember you saying, did you read the One Direction fanfic on there?
Yes,
after?
I did. Oh my gosh.
You need to talk about that. So I was never a fan of One Direction, so I never read that, but I remember it being so popular and all my friends reading it.
Do you know what's funny
And I
is
figured
they made that into an episode game too.
Did they really?
The One Direction. And I remember like doing that, and like I don't know. I always just put myself in their shoes, so I was like just dating all of them. I don't remember any of the details of it, but I do remember reading that on Wattpad.
Okay, but wasn't it smutty?
Yeah,
That was your first smut.
I don't think it was the first. I think there was
Oh.
other Wattpads that were just as bad. But I remember reading that, and I honestly wasn't even as into that as the other ones, which were basically like, it literally was like they were forced to get married, and like that. Like I'm like, how did I read that? Like when I was that young, I don't know how I didn't like process it or anything.
Yeah.
And then like looking back, I'm trying to like remember and everything. But yeah, no, I loved the One Direction stuff. There was another one. What was it? There was like another one that I read that was like pop culture. I can't think of who it was. The Jonas Brothers, maybe? I don't remember. It was another like boy band or something like that I read.
Was it
on
5
there.
Seconds of Summer? I love 5 Sauce.
No.
I never read any of those fanfics though.
I did. I loved fan fiction.
I was just reading the
But I also wasn't like a huge I also wasn't a huge One Direction fan because my sister liked One Direction. But yeah, I don't know. I freaking loved Wattpad. And I would just read anything I can get my hands on.
Honestly, same.
So
We've just been readers
this
for
is
life.
such a fun episode.
I think this might be my favorite one we filmed.
this lore.
And I knew too, like whenever I was planning and like writing down some of the books and stuff, I was like, I bet this is gonna spark really good conversation and just like memories. And
I know
and
I
it
blinked
has.
and we're like almost an hour and a half into
I
filming.
feel like I could talk more if the iPad was not dying and if I was not about to pee my pants.
Yeah.
I could probably talk for like another hour.
But yeah, guys, we're gonna film another episode today, I think, right?
Are we gonna have
Still-
time? What time is it?
Just kidding, we probably won't.
I don't know. I can't see what time it is.
It's 3:07.
Mm.
So we'll film another episode soon. But I'm excited, and I'm really excited about reading my stories.
I can't wait to read your stories
I'm
and
so happy.
to react to them. Like, that's gonna be so. You need to like jot the idea down in our notes so we don't forget about it.
I'll put it under episode 11.
Okay. So
Guys.
that'll be episode 12.
Yes.
Episode 12. Emma's short stories. Wow.
Emma's stories, notes from her boyfriends. We'll go through all of my old stuff. All those like papers and stuff. All of my old writing.
So there's gonna be a second lore episode.
Yeah.
So if you loved this, stay tuned. We're going to have more lore.
If you want to hear my unhinged thoughts as a child, I probably have some like notebooks of me just being like, I hate my siblings and everything.
Dude, that's so funny. I grew up an only child, so like there was no sibling hate in my journals.
Yeah, it was unhinged for sure. So anyway, I hope you guys liked this episode. It was so fun for us.
Yeah, I had so much fun. It was great.
So anyway, we'll see you guys next week. And if you missed like what was going on from last week's episode, we're now posting every Saturday so that I have a week to edit instead of just a few hours before I have to have it up on Sunday. So
yeah,
we'll be
posting
work
a lot
Saturdays
better
now.
And then I'm gonna start posting clips of our podcast on TikTok, and I'm gonna be getting more consistent with like posting edits and like things on Instagram. So I'm really excited.
So we're trying to level up a little bit, but there we go. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.